The most successful people in the world invest in their personal growth. They even use their drive time to listen and learn. They grow as they go everywhere. It could be 5 minutes to drop off the dry cleaning or 30 minutes to the office. It could be just waiting in line at the little pickup for their kids at school or waiting for a train to pass. They utilize every opportunity to grow, to learn, to improve their mindset for success. Hey, I'm Terri Savelle, your cheerleader of dreams. I want to talk to you about something I learned from Tracy that he says will guarantee your success. And I've seen it happen in my life, and I want to show you how it can happen for anyone. In fact, I want you to hear this heart-gripping letter that I received from a precious woman named Barbara, who was literally hiding from her abuser in a shelter. Listen to this. Barbara wrote, "Years ago, I was in a shelter for battered women. I was a single mom trying to flee my abuser. I was there with my toddler, and we had nothing but the clothes on our backs. I lost sight of all hope. In the shelter, I was assigned a mattress to sleep on. One night, I felt a bump under the mattress, and as I looked underneath, I found one of Terri's books." Isn't this wild? She wrote, fast forward 7 years later. After reading this book about dreaming and making a vision board, she sent me this letter. Barbara wrote, "My entire life has changed. I've been able to accomplish nearly everything on my vision board. The trials I went through led me to Jesus. I now work in a church, have a small business, receive my master's degree. I'm remarried to a man who respects me. My son is 10 years old, doing well, and we are free from fear." Isn't that amazing? Now, I'm not taking credit for the drastic turnaround in Barbara's life, and I don't know how in the world one of my books ended up under a mattress at a homeless shelter. I'm so grateful it did. But this story proves the power of the written word to transform our lives, which ties into the 3% rule of success. I'll explain. Oh, but real quick, I want to ask you if you would do a favor for me. Would you just take 1 second and subscribe to this channel? You know, that just gives me and my team so much encouragement to keep going, keep putting these videos together for you. So if you enjoy these videos, would you just let me know by being one of our subscribers? And I want to say thank you from my heart. You know, we've been growing a lot, and I'm just like, what happened? Thank you, Jesus. I am so grateful for you. So thank you for doing that. And I want to tell you about your very special free download this week. You know, I always like to do something every single week for our subscribers, but this time it's totally different than anything I've ever done before. I'm giving you a free ticket to my annual Live Your Dreams virtual conference happening at the end of this month. Now, we have never given away tickets for free, but we decided to make it the free download by simply clicking the link in the description. You get access immediately. Now, I'm telling you, this is going to be an answer to your prayers. If you're believing God for discipline in your life, or you're believing for vision for what God has for you, and the habits to back it up, enroll now. You're going to get to hear from 9 guest speakers on the topics of fitness, finances, goal setting, building your confidence, using your imagination, connecting with the right people, from the greatest speakers in their field for free. But you got to enroll to access the conference. So there are ticket levels at different prices, and if you want to access, to the trainings for like a longer period of time, that's up to you. But just click the link in the description right now, and you get a free ticket to Live Your Dreams virtual event. Sound good? Okay. I mentioned Tracy at the beginning. If you're not familiar with him, he is the author of close to 100 books. He wrote Eat That Frog, best-selling book, highly recommend it. Well, my daughter Cassidy and I had the honor of going to dinner with him and his wife Barbara. Last year we were in San Diego. And when he walked in, I told the waiter, I said, "Do you have any idea who this man is?" I said, "He's a legend in personal growth." The guy was like, I don't know who he is. Can I take your order?" Well, I've read so many of his books. And then I was praying under my breath, "Oh, Lord, please don't let me say anything dumb at dinner tonight." I mean, this man is so smart. Well, thankfully, we just hit it off. And after 2 days of getting to know each other, he said, "Let's spend the rest of our lives working together." I said, "Yes, yes, yes." But let me tell you, I would have never had the opportunity to hang out with someone like Tracy if I hadn't done the 3% rule, and still do. This has truly changed my entire life and enabled me to achieve so many impossible dreams, and the same will happen for you. Let me explain. When I was at the lowest time in my life, in a deep rut, no vision, no goals, no motivation, pretty miserable, I began to learn that growth inside fuels growth outside. I started learning that if I stop growing, everything stops growing. And that's what was happening in my life. So I launched my own little personal growth plan at the toughest season of my life. I just wrote out a little plan to start investing in myself. One of them was to start reading 20 minutes a day. Like literally set the alarm on my phone for 20 minutes, and I still do it to this day. Then I said I'm going to make myself listen to audios daily while I'm getting ready and while I'm driving to the office. Number 3, I said I'm going to invest in courses and resources, making myself put some money on the line to show that I care about my future. You know, honestly, I think Dr. Seuss said it the best in his little rhyme. He said, the more you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. It's true, isn't it? It's profound. But did you know that somebody else has already provided the blueprint for you to follow for whatever you're going through? I mean, a book is literally the advice, the experience, the wisdom of someone practically sitting down with you and sharing everything they know. Think about this. If you want to live a healthier life, you can learn directly from health expert Dr. Don Colbert. Whether you want to overcome chronic pain, lose weight, slow down the aging process, there's no appointment necessary. With over 40 books written, with over 40 years of medical practice, you have access to valuable wisdom to help you live long and strong, right? If you'd like to have better relationships with your spouse or children, Gary Smalley has poured decades of research and practical insights into his books that have helped millions of couples and parents. Chances are the answers you need are found in the pages of books, right? If you're determined to get your finances in order, which, let me just hold up my giant 50. You want to get out of debt. You want to build wealth. There is a book. Dave Ramsey provides step-by-step formulas in his best-selling book, The Total Money Makeover. In fact, I remember years ago, I jumped in my beautiful car one Saturday morning to just run a few quick errands. By the time I got home and the rest of the family woke up, I paid off my car. And you might say, what happened, Terri? Did you win the scratch off at the convenience store? No, I got something better. During that short little 45-minute trek to the bank and the car wash, I got the wisdom I needed to be debt-free. I was listening to Dave Ramsey as I was driving that morning, and he just made this simple statement, stressing the importance of living without debt and not wasting money on interest charges every month. And then he said, if you have the money in your savings account to pay off your car, but you're just leaving that money in there to feel secure, he said, drain the savings. And then he shouted, you're wasting money. He said, pay off your car note paying that car note every month along with the interest payment is wasting money. He said, pay off the car now, today, and then build your savings account back up. Well, I was so proud of myself for finally having a savings account. I didn't want to drain it, but his wisdom made so much sense. In fact, I owed around $14,000 on my car, and I had about $16,000 saved. So I went online, transferred the money, and paid off my car that very day. And then I went to work on building my savings account back up, starting with the money I used to put on the car payment. And the car just drove a little smoother after that day. What am I saying? The most successful people in the world invest in their personal growth. They even use their drive time to listen and learn. They grow as they go everywhere. It could be 5 minutes to drop off the dry cleaning or 30 minutes to the office. It could be just waiting in line at the little pickup for their kids at school or waiting for a train to pass. They utilize every opportunity to grow, to learn, to improve their mindset for success. So, here's the 3% rule that I learned from Brian Tracy. He said, to guarantee your lifelong success, make a decision today to invest 3% of your income back into yourself. He said this seems to be the magic number of lifelong learning. Here's an example. He said if your annual income is $50,000, Let's get the pocket calculator. 50,000 times 3% is $1,500. That's what you need to invest back into yourself to upgrade your knowledge. He said the payoff is extraordinary. And then he told this story, true story. He said he was given a seminar in Detroit when a young man about 30 years old came up to him, told him he heard about the 3% rule about 10 years ago. He said at the time he dropped out of college, was living at home, driving an old car, earning about $20,000 a year as a salesman. He decided he was going to apply the 3% rule to himself immediately. So he calculated 3% of $20,000, about $600. He began to buy sales books and read them every day. He invested in 2 audio programs. He invested the entire $600 into himself. That year, his income went from $20,000 to $30,000, an increase of 50%. So the next year, he invested 3% of $30,000. Carry my 3, $900. He invested back into himself. That year, his income jumped from $30,000 to $50,000. So he began to think, if my income goes up 50% per year by investing 3%, what would happen if I invested 5% back into myself? So the next year, he invested $2,500 into his personal growth. He traveled across the country to a conference. He bought more books and courses. He even hired a part-time coach. That year, his income doubled to $100,000. He said after that, it was like playing Texas Hold'em. He said, I just decided to go all in and raise the investment to 10% per year. That's a lot. He told Brian he's been doing it ever since. Brian Tracy said, how has investing 10% of your income back into yourself affected your income? He said he smiled real big and he said, I passed $1 million in personal income last year. Here's my point, because that's a lot of money. Someone else has provided a blueprint for you to follow to be successful, but you have to invest in yourself to get the blueprint, right? So that's why your free download this week is the free ticket to my Live Your Dreams virtual conference. You're going to get the blueprint to build your confidence, to get your money in order, to get your body in shape, to set goals the right way, and so much more. You will never go broke investing in yourself. So click the link right now and take advantage of this free offer this week. You are worth the investment, and I'm going to be cheering you on to live your dreams.
Make plans now to supercharge your growth during the Live Your Dreams virtual event with Terri Savelle Foy, along with special guests Bob Goff, April Osteen-Simons, Gary Cassie, Nicole Crank, Real Talk Kim, and more. It's all happening April 28th, and you don't want to miss it. So if you're ready to build your faith and get practical steps to achieve your dreams and goals, hurry over to Terri.com to register for this virtual conference for free today.